WREG in Memphis. This is News Channel 3 at 5.
A coronavirus outbreak in a Tennessee prison leads to a huge spike in the state's case count. More than 1,200 inmates and staff at a prison in Truesdale, Tennessee, have now tested positive for the virus. That's more than half the people who were tested there and brings the state's case total to almost 11,900. Mississippi has a little more than 7,200 infections. Arkansas, more than 3,300. These latest developments in the coronavirus outbreak top the news at 5. Welcome home. I'm Greg Hurst. Stephanie will be along tonight for the news at 10. In light of the test results from the Truesdale Turner Correctional Center, state leaders announced today a mass COVID-19 testing initiative will begin next week for all Department of Corrections staff and inmates. Also today, Shelby County's coronavirus death toll has now surpassed 50, with a little less than 2,600 infections. Tippah County, Mississippi also reported 3 more deaths related to COVID-19 today, bringing its total sadly to 10. And a second person has died from coronavirus in Tunica County. Shelby County mayors say that they wanted to stay unified about when businesses could reopen, but that's not happening in one industry. Now small business owners are kind of caught in limbo. WREG's Stacey Jacobson takes us through the confusion about salons and other personal care places.
These pictures show the changes made at Headlines Hair Salon in Collierville. Owner Brittany Foster says she's doing all she can to comply with the requirements put out by the state.
We are supposed to open May 6th. We just got the news yesterday.
She says that because she saw this notice on Collierville's website stating beauty salons, barbershops, and other close contact businesses can open May 6th, just like in other parts of Tennessee. It calls that a new update and says it will soon be reflected in the framework for the entire county. Collierville isn't alone. Here's Bartlett Mayor Keith McDonald.
I've been looking for a way, and when the governor came out with his, I was satisfied.
But take a look here. This is that Shelby County framework they reference. And you can see personal appearance businesses are still marked as closed in the second column, representing phase 1 of the Back to Business plan.
We have not given approval for nail salons or barbershops or any of the 4 mentioned to open.
We'll rely on the doctors to advise Memphis with respect to those establishments. Originally, they said that it should be in phase 2. I was going to broach that subject with them again.
Where did the breakdown happen?
I don't know that there is a breakdown. There's just, I guess, people are waiting for the messaging at different times, and I think that's what's causing the confusion. I think some are waiting until Monday.
There's so many different things that everybody says.
Of course, all of this leaves business owners like Foster confused. For now, she says she's listening to her mayor and plans to open next week, but she hasn't felt confident enough to tell that to her staff. Stacey Jacobson, WREG, News Channel 3.
It's a work in progress trying to figure it all out. Now, Stacey also did reach out to the mayors of Arlington, Lakeland, and Millington, and also Shelby County. None of them got back to her, but Germantown's mayor did. He says that these businesses must stay closed, but he's also evaluating the alternatives. Now, the governor's office sent us this statement just moments ago saying the Shelby County Health Department does have jurisdiction over those municipalities, and they report to the county mayor. However, the county mayor could yield to the municipal mayors if he wants. Arkansas is allowing salons and similar businesses to get back to business next week. Governor Asa Hutchinson announced today beauty salons, barbershops, tattoo shops, and massage therapists can reopen on Wednesday with restrictions. Businesses must limit the number of customers and must screen their staff and customers. This week, the governor said that gyms in Arkansas can reopen next week and restaurants on May 11th. Governor Bill Lee is allowing Tennessee's churches to decide how they want to reopen. Lee issued an executive order today superseding Shelby County leaders' request that churches open at 25% capacity. The governor recommends churches do not immediately let high-risk members gather. He also is suggesting that members wear masks and also practice social distancing. The governor says virtual services are still the best way to go at this time. The FDA just issued an emergency use authorization for Remdesivir to fight coronavirus. That drug reduced the time of illness in hospitalized patients with severe COVID-19. The Food and Drug Administration's emergency action is not the same as the full FDA approval, but it is a sign the FDA believes the benefits far outweigh the risks. President Trump says that the drug is showing a lot of promise.
An important treatment for hospitalized coronavirus patients. And it's something I spoke with Dr. Khan and Dr. Fauci. I spoke with Deborah about it, and it's really a very promising situation.
The maker of Remdesivir says that it currently has enough doses to treat about 140,000 patients with COVID-19. All right, time now to talk weather. Happy Friday. May is off to just a beautiful start out there, but what about the weekend? Let's check in with WREG weather expert Tim Simpson for a first check of your forecast. Hi, Tim.
Hey, good afternoon, Greg. Yeah, it's going to be a great looking weekend. We're seeing a beautiful weather pattern right now on this Friday afternoon, the first day of May. The shot from Memphis International Airport, blue sky, pretty much everywhere you look. There's no precipitation showing up on Storm Tracker 3S radar this afternoon. We got a clean sweep. It's been clean all day today. Temperatures upper 70s, low 80s, 79 degrees here in Memphis. It warms to 80 in Blytheville, 82 degrees down in Clarksdale, Mississippi. Now, as far as you going outside, maybe this evening on the patio, a lot of folks spending patio time in this kind of weather. Here's the forecast. Temps in the 70s here, dropping off to about 70 degrees by 9 o'clock this evening. So a great evening to cook out with the kids or whatever you like to do outside. Coming up, we'll talk about not only that weekend forecast, but Greg, there are some cooler temperatures in the extended outlook. That's just moments away.
All right, you're like our camp counselor. I like what you have planned there. We'll talk in a few. Thanks, Tim. Most of us are dealing with coronavirus cabin fever. So as the weather does get warmer this weekend, some health officials are worried that we'll all head outside together. WREG investigator Jessica Gertler found out more about the issue of crowded parks and what authorities are doing about it.
Memphis city leaders stressed today we're at a pivotal point in the battle against COVID-19.
If we don't abide by social distancing requirements, we could see a surge in the virus.
And this weekend will be a huge test. The weather is expected to be beautiful, and many of us are restless, wanting to soak up the sunshine. With parks being one of the few things open right now, the mayor stresses
citizens using those city parks are required to adhere to social distancing requirements.
In an effort to reduce crowds, the city has shut down roadways in and around popular parks like Tom Lee. You can see barricades at the entrances of Overton. Amenities at parks are blocked off, basketball rims removed. People can still visit, just not in crowds.
We also have courtesy crews in all our parks who are not issuing citations or anything.
Instead, the crews will remind people to keep a safe distance. Memphis police told us they will also be monitoring the parks. City leaders say if you're out and about this weekend and you see anyone violating the mayor's executive order, like gathering in large crowds, to report it by calling 311. Something people have been doing already. WREG found out last month 1 out of every 8 calls to 311 was related to large gatherings at parks across the city. Police and code enforcement had to respond and break it up. So again, as we head into this beautiful weekend, city leaders just want you to remember one thing.
Social distancing is extremely important.
In Midtown, Jessica Gertler, WREG News Channel 3.
We have to still be diligent. Now, city officials say that you can also report violations and track them online. We put a link to that on WREG.com. Just click on this story. You know, if it weren't for the pandemic, many people would be filling Tom Lee Park this weekend for the Beale Street Music Festival. The festival has been rescheduled for later this year, and while it's still unknown if it'll be safe to hold then, organizers are holding on to hope. We'll give you a look at some of their plans coming up on the news at 6. A gesture of gratitude for those working to keep Shelby County's detainees and the community safe. Feed the Needy delivered 250 box lunches to the Shelby County Sheriff's Office, hoping to thank essential workers for their dedicated service to the community. The lunches were distributed to corrections deputies at 201 Poplar, Jail East, and Juvenile Court. Good for them. All right, coming up, thousands of people are filing for unemployment benefits for the first time, and that means they might not know much about how it all works. We'll tell you some of the things that you should know so you're not blindsided in the future. Coming up next.